Rosso.
Here.
Commissioner Ryan Meyer.
Here.
Thank you.
If everyone would please rise for the pledge, led by the Vice Mayor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3A, Resolution Number 09-2017, certify the results of the municipal general election.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McVoy. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. At this time, we'll move on to item 4, comments from our outgoing city commissioners. And let me just take this opportunity to thank them both for their hard work and dedication and service to the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McVoy?
Thank you, and I too would like to thank the mayor and my fellow commissioners. I suspect that I've spent more time with the 5 of you and our attorney and our city manager than I have with my lovely girlfriend. That's how it goes. When you're working for the city, you're busy. But and yes, we eat more meals together, Michael and I. So I do have some comments that I'd like to make, and I will try to keep them brief. That sometimes works better than others. It's not often that a scientist is granted the opportunity to participate directly in the American experiment of democracy. And it's not every city that gets the benefit of a scientist. I am honored to have been able to represent all the residents of this quirky city in South Florida that continues to attract folks from far and wide. I am honored to have been able to serve as a, quote, voice of reason, as a voice of the people, unburdened by allegiances to vested interests. I'm proud of our many accomplishments, and this is only a partial list of what all of us together have accomplished. The Burton modeling and analysis that's been applied to our budgeting over the last several years. I'm grateful to all of my fellow commissioners that we all signed on to doing that. Our signing on as a city onto the 4-county climate change compact, a significant accomplishment. Our commitments to local sourcing and apprentices on publicly funded projects. Our use of internationally recognized designers at our beach and at our living shoreline in Bryant Park. A beautiful building at the beach, a state-of-the-art RO plant, beautiful greenways on several of our cross streets. We need one more at 8th Avenue. 2 megawatts of solar panels on our landfill. We have, good. We have the largest municipal set of solar generation in the state. That's pretty cool. Our installation of real-time electric and water meters that will help residents save money, and many more things that have been alluded to and will come again. But I feel that this is a work in progress, as managing any city is. And here are some specifics that I hope this new commission will address. Code enforcement, please spell out our priorities for all to see in the city so that we really can prioritize what code does. A program to reward good landlords and shame the bad ones. As I've said many times, the issue isn't renting, the issue is what kind of landlords. So let's get something in place to distinguish. A gun violence prevention program, and I would suggest, considering what PBSO seems to be quite enthusiastic about and others, the shot spotter technology as a possibility. I'd like to encourage the coming commission to even out the care for our parks. There is a beautiful resurfacing of the tennis courts right across from my house, wonderful lighting, but when I go down to the park at the bottom end of Wingfield, I still see the same bent chairs, bent benches, lack of bathrooms, lack of lighting at that park, and that has always pained me. We have a real problem with a continued reputation for having the most expensive electricity. And I can tell you from being out in the city, That reputation is still there. Use the new meters. Use a household by household program focused on those with the highest bills. That's our solution to getting rid of that reputation. Please work on customer service. I know. We'll get there, but let's get there sooner. Public safety. Let's address some of the long-standing problems. The Holiday House Hotel on Dixie, some of the ones on Federal that continue to be a problem both on Dixie and Federal, but on the neighborhoods that adjoin them. And then there's some areas that are not specifics, but areas where I'm confident that together, all five, will develop visions that will lift up and inspire our city. And I'm focused on three. Quality of life in our neighborhoods, especially speeding, trucks, and cut-through traffic. It's a real issue in many, many parts of the city. So develop a citywide set of goals and approaches and a citywide plan. Work hard to involve residents. Make it a community effort that lets people say, what kind of city do we want to be? Another area where we can grow through vision is environmental, especially in the energy sector. Help Lake Worth become nationally known for true leadership in this area. You can do it. We have the bones to do it. Sober homes. This community, I firmly believe, does have compassion and recognizes the opioid epidemic, but it also needs to feel safe. So my challenge to the Commission is learn to distinguish between good sober homes that truly provide a needed service, and this is a technical term, the duds, who just profit and hurt us. And finally, I'd like to close by symbolically handing over the torch. I am entrusting all five of you, new and old, with protection of our city's greatest asset, its heart and soul. And I recognize that this is not an easy task, and it's one that generates more questions than answers. What is it that gives a city heart and soul? Why does our city, no offense, Michael, have more of it than Lantana or West Palm Beach or most other cities in South Florida? It does. It's recognized and does. What are the things that strengthen heart and soul in a city, and what are the things that weaken it? Can it be measured in dollars or square feet developed? Probably not, and yet we need both dollars and square feet. Are there slippery slopes that threaten our heart and soul and that could be hard to reverse in the future? How does diversity, all kinds of diversity, fit into that picture? And how do we smooth the edges? These and more are all important questions to get right. So in leaving, I challenge each and every one of you to do your best, not for yourselves, but for all in this city. I challenge you to do your utmost to hear from all viewpoints in the city, to cultivate, to welcome real and true public input. That will help you find the answers to these difficult questions. I challenge you to find ways to strengthen our city as a whole, the finances, the sense of safety, the quality of life, the compassion, and the tolerance. I challenge you to protect and strengthen the heart and soul that makes our city a beacon within South Florida. Be that light, and Godspeed.
Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. It's been an honor to serve. Thank you very much for the opportunity. This has been a life-altering experience. I've learned many things. Hopefully I have learned some things that will help me affect positive change in my community, in my future, and in our future. Thank you to my fellow commissioners, to city staff, to the city manager. It's been a real pleasure getting to know all of you. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you both, gentlemen. Okay, swearing in of the newly elected officials by the city attorney. Whatever you like. I think they're gonna
be here to swear them in.
Yeah.
I think so.
I have Omari Hardy up first, District 2.
That's the same one?
You can do it.
Can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? And it's also written there in case you need to follow along. I, Omari Hardy, a citizen of the city of Lake Worth, the state of Florida, and of the United States of America, and being an officer of the city of Lake Worth, and a recipient of public funds, as such officer, do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Florida, and the Charter of the city of Lake Worth, and that I am entitled to hold office under the Constitution and Charter of the city of Lake Worth, and that I will faithfully perform all of the duties of the office of Commissioner, District 4, on which I-
Good catch.
Good catch.
on which I am about to enter. On which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Mr. Herman Robinson. Oh. Commissioner District 4, Herman Robinson.
I, Herman Robinson, a citizen of the city of Lake Worth,
a proud citizen of the city of Lake Worth,
the state of Florida,
and
and of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
and being an officer
and being an officer
of the city of Lake Worth, and a recipient of public funds,
and a recipient of public funds,
as such officer, do hereby solemnly swear
solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and the Charter of the city of Lake Worth,
and of the Charter of the city of Lake Worth,
and that I am entitled
and that I am entitled
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution
under the Constitution
and Charter of the city of Lake Worth,
and the Charter of the city of Lake Worth,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
of the office of Commissioner,
of the office of Commissioner,
District 4, on which I'm about to enter.
District 4, which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Now,
I'll go first because he's.
You need to come up here. You're up here.
you need to come.
Yep.
Switch. Okay.
Shake everyone's hand up here.
And now, gentlemen. And now we will have our newly elected officials' comments, starting with Commissioner Hardy.
Wow. Okay, so I have some thank yous. First of all, I am a God-fearing Christian, and when I moved to this city, I was not aware that my Creator had these plans in store for me, but I'm glad that He did, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank Him here today. I would also like to thank my parents. Everything good about me came from my parents, my two moms, Frederica Hardy. Frederica Hardy and Victoria Miller, and my sister, Kiara Hardy. You taught me, first of all, what to expect of myself, that I was capable of a lot, not just academically or professionally, but in terms of how I treat people. You taught me how to treat everyone with respect and to understand them, and you also instilled in me the care that I have for the common good, and I'm so grateful that you raised me the way that you did, and that you educated me the way that you did. And I wouldn't be here were it not for you two and my sister. I would like to thank Commissioner McBoy. He was a public servant. We all have different ideas for where we want to take the city. He had his, I have mine, but I believe that he faithfully executed the duties of this office, and he did what his conscience felt was right. And we're going to have disagreements, and those are for voters to ultimately decide, and they did this time. But I want him to know that the outcome of this election does not impugn in any way the service that he provided to this city, and the expertise also. And I want to thank him for that. And I want it to be known to him and to his supporters that my sitting on this dais does not mean that your concerns will go unheard, that your ideas will go unheeded. I want to make it clear that I believe that it is my job to represent the whole city, that my constituency consists not only of those who voted for me, but for those who voted for my opponents. And I will hear your voice the same way that I hear the voices of those who support me. And if ever you find that I am dismissive of you, which I can be, I'm human. If ever you find that I'm not listening, please let me know. Please make me to recall my words right now, and I will do my best to make it right. Over a year ago, almost a year ago, I walked into my neighborhood association meeting of Tropical Ridge for the first time, and I was aware of some of the challenges that we faced. And when I left that meeting, I was also aware that other people understood or apprehended these challenges, and that we shared certain frustrations. And I wasn't sure how I was going to give voice to those frustrations immediately, but it resulted in my running for this office. And it resulted ultimately in my winning this office. And it will result even more ultimately in my hopefully solving some of the problems that gave rise to these frustrations. And I believe that as a city, we have a great deal of potential. And it's a part of what all of us are doing here on this dais to make sure that we realize that potential. we don't want to leave anything on the table here. That doesn't mean that we have to transform ourselves into something we are not. Because at the end of the day, we are who we are. And any attempt to abandon our identity is a sort of idolatry. Maya Angelou said the difference between an idol and a hero is that an idol makes you want to be more like them, and a hero makes you want to be more like yourselves, right? So we all have our heroes. As a city, we might have our own heroes. We might look at other cities and say, man, they do this thing a certain way, or they do that thing a certain way. At the end of the day, we don't want to be like them. We want to be the best version of ourselves. And I think it's important that everyone here on this dais understand that the task is to squeeze the most out of this orange. And that's what we're trying to do. I want to say also that in the course of campaigning, I had the opportunity to speak with a lot of people. And many of them were despondent, frustrated to the point of apathy. They feel that their government isn't working for them. And they don't see, in light of this fact, a good reason to participate in what we're doing here in City Hall and what we do every year in March on a Tuesday and holding elections. And I think it is the responsibility of everyone on this dais to inspire trust in what we're doing. And that means that in every opportunity that we have to go the extra mile to be transparent and accountable and to bring information to the people. And I'm going to work on that. There are a lot of people who live west of Dixie Highway, for example, who feel that this process doesn't work for them. And I think everyone on this dais, whether it's in your district or not, you have a responsibility to make these people understand that we work for you too. And with that, I would like to thank everyone here. I would like to thank everyone who voted, whether you voted for me or not. And I look forward to serving you all. Thank you.
Commissioner Herman Robinson.
I'm not the eloquent speaker that Omari is, but I do hope to communicate to all of the city's citizens of Lake Worth. You're my neighbor, and that's important to me. And I'm probably more emotional than I should be, because I really just want to get down to work and do the right thing and bring the quality of life that we all deserve. I want to build trust. I want to thank Commissioner McVoy and Meyer for their service. I want to thank the candidates that ran and put themselves out for the community. I want to thank my wife for and nobody does anything by themselves. I had a lot of help, and I really appreciate all the help I had. But communication is important to me. I hope I hear from you, whether I'll hear mostly what I'm doing wrong, but that's good. The common goal for the city of Lake Worth is what we're here for, and we have a great citizenry of volunteers and people that want to contribute in their own way. The clash of ideas, it has been said, is the sound of freedom, and I'm looking forward to hearing all those ideas that will make Lake Worth a better place. Another friend of mine up here said, don't confuse activity with achievement. I'm looking forward to achieving a lot of the things that I was talking about on the campaign trail. The underutilized assets that we have, the Gulfstream project needs to move forward, and the partnerships that the commissioners have been working on, and their professional staff has been working on with other agencies and cities. The apathy that Omari mentioned, I wanted to think that it was because of the satisfaction of what has been going on, and I'm looking forward to working with the people that have been moving the city forward. That said, I'm ready to go to work, and hopefully you'll all be in touch, and I want to do right by you. So thank you.
Commissioner Hardy would like to recognize one more person.
I failed to recognize someone. I'm sorry if the moment was too big for me, but Tricia Mishler is standing in the back. And the Mishler family. I have said before, and I'll say it here again, she's my Joe Biden. She was the first decision I made and the best decision I made, and making her my campaign manager. So thank you, and and not just you, but your family also, for all the work that you put in. Thank you.
Now, with that said, I want to remind you that that's the last time you can let me break the agenda item, because I go by agendas and I'm pretty strict on that. Just ask the party commissioners. Okay, so I made that one special exception. I also want to remind the new commissioners, too, that they will now be referring to their fellow commissioners as Commissioner Robinson and Commissioner Hardy, as opposed to by first names, out of respect for the office. And I'd also like to welcome you all, especially our outgoing and our incoming commissioners, to please join us for some cake to celebrate. We'll take a brief adjournment, and then we'll start our regular meeting. Congratulations.
You have to make a motion.
Congratulations, and thank you to all.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second, you seconded. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed. That's our first unanimous vote.
There we go.
Can I photobomb him?
Can I get in here? Stand next to the tall, good-looking guys.
I'm so happy. I gave you the real smile. Big gum.
I understand.